Hello, Gore Horrors and fellow Deadites. I'm Brendan.
I'm Sam.
And welcome to Our Life in Horror.
We're doing a review.
We're doing a movie review.
It feels like a Sunday because we usually do them on Sundays.
Yeah.
Pretty pumped that I don't have the Sunday scaries right now.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. We actually have like a day to chill tomorrow.
Yeah, we have post-Christmas shopping blues done, though.
We finished all our Christmas shopping.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yep, it's fucking sweet.
Feels good. They're even wrapped and under the tree.
You're like right away. I am wrapping everything. And I'm like, we still have like a month and a half. Like, we don't got to worry about it too much. You're like, nope, it's getting done today.
Yeah, I don't want shit laying around the house.
It'd all be hidden in closets, but I get it.
Then things are going to get lost in the closets in my plethora of clothes.
No. Plus, I found you a Christmas present that was in one of my gift bags from last year. Or was it 2 years ago?
2 years ago, I got this gift from my mother, and you found it in one of your old Christmas bags that you don't sort and put away.
No. And
I was looking for it for a year and ended up just buying another one.
Now you have two.
I don't even care anymore.
You're going to re-gift it.
Yeah. All right, we're going to bring our guest out. We're done with the Christmas talk. It's not even December yet. We are joined by Josh from Beyond the Grave Media. So we're going to bring him out. Hey.
Right. What's up, folks? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing real well. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Before we get started, we always like to ask our guests to talk about their channel a little bit because I found you, I don't remember when I came across your channel, but I saw you were doing a lot of extreme horror on your channel, which I thought was really cool because I used to be really into that. So talk about your channel, what you do, what you got coming up, sell it.
Oh, sure. Yeah, extreme. That's kind of what I like to do. I didn't mean to do that at first because I like, all kinds of horror growing up, if it's out there, I've probably seen it, but then I kind of like to go into the shadowy depths once in a while. And once I get there, I kind of go on just a little run where it's super nasty for like a month. And then I'm like, all right, I need the fog, I need some Christine in my life. And then I'll kind of balance out. But, and then people seem to like it. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm not crazy. I can talk about these, kind of off the rails movies. And so it's been fun. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just kind of making it up, having a good time. So
that's what we're
about
all
6
doing.
months. Yeah.
It's good though, because it's kind of like a niche subgenre of horror that like not all horror channels talk about the extreme stuff. They just kind of talk mainstream or classics. So
yeah, like even for our channel, like this is other than like some stuff that the Bitter Wolf will throw at us, this is like one of the low-key movies that I don't think we would ever get to unless somebody picked it out.
Yeah, and speaking of, what made you put this movie on your list for movies to review?
Well, I was like kind of known as the extreme guy, and so then I started thinking about it, and I was like, what's kind of like maybe like a hybrid movie that's got some extreme moments that's kind of like, it's still palatable for a cannibal movie, so a little history, maybe a little Donner Party action. So I was like, hey, maybe they haven't seen Ravenous. Maybe we should talk about that. It's one of my favorite movies. So
it's been on my Amazon wish list for a long time. I just never ended up biting the bullet and picking it up from Scream Factory.
I didn't know it existed.
Yeah. Yeah, I brought them both out here. I've had this DVD since forever, and then the Scream Factory one's great. But
awesome,
yeah. Nice.
Before we get into this conversation, what is the most extreme movie that you have seen?
Oh,
I know there's probably a lot on the same playing field, but in your opinion, what is the most extreme?
But it can't be like a Siberian film because that's just like a natural go-to for everybody.
Yeah.
It can't be like
He's done a lot of others though, so yeah, I'm curious.
Man, that's a great question right there. I still think the original Traces of Death from like the 90s is the most shocking thing I've ever seen. I think that kind of greased the wheel for me to get into extreme films. I just talked about August Underground. That's a very intense flick. Poughkeepsie tapes, a lot of the Japan horror stuff goes pretty hard too. Yeah, any of that toe tag stuff is pretty brutal, but I still think Traces of Death, not Faces, but Traces is probably the most extreme thing I've seen.
I haven't even heard of that. I knew
Me
about
neither.
Faces of Death, but are you writing it down?
Yeah, just 'cause
Okay.
I'm curious, might look it up on Amazon later. It did this just recently get a re-release or something?
No, there is like a box set on eBay you can probably go out and get. They're kind of expensive, but it's on YouTube, uncut, unedited, somehow, some way. So it's just real life, crime. Yeah, it's just nasty, but
Okay.
All right.
I'm tempted.
it's pretty intense.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty intense. It's great.
I'm gonna hit the comments here real quick. Oh, I just exited them. Hello, Ryan Swayze. Thanks for
Hey,
joining us.
Ryan.
And yes, we are so close to 500 subs.
So close.
So close, slowly getting there. And Ryan's also got Josh's link in the chat. So that is perfect. Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, dude.
So I guess we'll get into this.
Yeah.
I did not print my sheets, so I'm going to read it off my phone. But Ravenous or Ravenous? I never know how to say that.
Ravenous.
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 It's a horror western. It's got a 6.9 on IMDb. I can't talk. 52% on Rotten Tomatoes. Release date was March 19th, 1999. Director is Antonia Bird. Box office was $2 million. And it's starring Guy Pearce and Robert Carlyle.
This is a huge ensemble.
There's
cast.
a lot of other people, but I mean, David Arquette, Jeffrey Jones, Jeremy Davies, Stephen Spinella, Neil McDonough, John Spencer, David Hyman. That word gets me.
That's pretty much all the like recognizable faces, I think. But like you'll be sitting there and you'll be like, is that who I think it is? And then you'll
Is that the dude from Beetlejuice? It's like, yeah, it totally is.
You
Yeah.
said that last night.
I recognized him right away, and I was like, "Oh, another one of this guy. He's in another fucking movie we were watching." Because I feel like we've seen like, I don't know. I guess for me, I've seen because I watched the original Beetlejuice this year, and then Sleepy Hollow.
Is he the bad guy? Like the bad man, the bad actor from
Yeah,
Beetlejuice
yeah.
that we don't talk of?
Yeah,
I shouldn't have said his name.
He's the bad guy.
The
Yeah.
bad guy.
he is the bad guy. But like I've
The
seen, I
bad
feel like
fella.
I've watched so many of his movies this year. I'm like, fuck.
Supporting the wrong actor.
Yeah.
The only guy I recognized was Neil McDonough, and then once you said David Arquette, I was like, oh yeah, okay.
He was the hardest one to place. I was like, I had to watch a few scenes with him, and then I'm like, maybe it is him. And then I finally looked it up, and I was like, oh, it is David Arquette. That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Before we get into it, though, spoiler-free thoughts. What do you think of this movie?
I love it, man. I think it's super cool that it's a kind of a crossbreed of a Western, and I like the historical element of it too, where they're kind of playing off the Donner Party. I think I hate the term underrated, but it is underrated, underseen, just brutal. It's so good, everything about it.
Okay. You?
I like a lot of the things that you said. There's one thing that I'm like keeping me from totally loving this movie, and it goes throughout the entire movie. And I thought it might change eventually and just go strictly one way, but it never does. So that element really, really fights me with this movie, and I had the problem with it throughout the entire thing. But other than that, I really liked the story. I liked the pacing. I liked the looks of everything. It was just this one element of film where I'm like, I just can't fucking get by this. But that's just my personal opinion.
I was like, please don't say the music. I was like, no, that's the best part.
We'll see in the spoilers.
We'll see.
I thought, first half hour, I thought I was going to despise this movie. I'm not into Westerns. I'm not into history. But I was actually kind of surprised. I liked the different... I didn't expect it to go where it was going. And there was a couple of moments where I was like, oh, and then another moment. And I was like, oh, this is happening. Like, I didn't know where to expect it to go, I guess. So I thought it was okay.
This is also like Sam's probably first Western.
Yeah, I don't watch westerns.
Oh,
So
okay.
but that I anytime someone recommends a movie, I'm like, for the channel, I'm like, okay, this is forcing me to watch a movie that I won't typically watch. See how it goes.
Yeah.
So thought it was all right. But with that, we'll get into spoilers. So describe this movie in 3 words.
Man, probably a tense, cannibalistic. I was gonna say masterpiece, but it's just like an onslaught of just once it gets going. Man, yeah, it blew my mind when I watched it. I was like, what? Just combining the different elements of the history, and I love history and I love westerns. It's kind of raised on those from grandparents and stuff. So, but they're kind of boring. So once you get into the gore and the cannibalism, I was sold, man. It's like, let's do this thing.
Yeah.
I have almost fucking perfect.
Oh,
It's pretty
Okay.
good.
Yeah.
I put bloody, cannibals, and I put madness because people are kind of going mad.
Yeah, it's good.
Who is your favorite character?
I like the. I grew up and I hated Robert Carlyle. Is it Robert Carlyle who's playing? He's got a couple of different names, but he's basically the Wendigo in the movie. I hated him because he was so. I don't, if you've seen Train Spotting, like he's just kind of a prick in a lot of his movies. So it's like he just kept coming for Boyd. So I still think that Boyd's my favorite character. I don't really agree with the cowardice part, but when he finally kind of like grows up and kind of like gets brave, I think that's a pretty cool story arc.
Yeah.
And he's also secretly, kind of trying people and trying to like cope this morality back and forth with Boyd. I thought it was super interesting.
Okay.
Your go.
My favorite character is Boyd. He's the main guy, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like by the end, he's like the good guy, I guess. So he's the one you're rooting for. Plus he's nice to look at. I'll leave it at that.
Oh, you think Guy Pearce is hot?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, okay.
I actually don't know anything that he's in.
He's a chameleon, so he's in like Prometheus. He's the really old dude. He's in tons of movies, but he's in what's that Memento where he like writes all over himself. He's in a bunch of like, yeah, he's in a bunch of flicks.
I looked up his IMDb and I don't know him from anything. I haven't seen any of those movies, so
okay.
That's why I didn't know who he was.
Yeah. Okay. I got
His
Colonel
name's literally
Ives.
Guy. Colonel Ives.
Yeah, I got Colonel Ives, my favorite character.
The bad guy?
Yeah,
Oh,
fuck yeah.
okay.
Dude's like, he's charming, he's witty, he's sophisticated, he's thought out. Like, this guy's got a plan, and he's gonna extract his plan to perfection. But when you get to see him also go wild, he goes wild, and he just goes for it. And I just love that. I was totally captivated by his performance throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, he's charming, man.
Yeah, I figured everybody was going to go for Boyd, so I'm like, I really like the villain of this movie. And it's real cool to see him like from, like, I don't know if he was like an actual colonel like before he's decided to start eating people, but like from his transformation from when he first gets to the camp and he's all like frostbitten and whatnot to him return and he's like looking pimping in his little colonel outfit and stuff. I'm like, damn, is it? Maybe it was just like this huge hallucination by this Boyd guy. And I'm like, maybe he's not a cannibal. And then he just drops the ball. He's like, so I found the leftovers of your friend there. You know, you couldn't stomach him. I'm like, oh, damn, he is the fucking bad guy still. I'm like loving it.
Yeah, he's awesome, dude. He's so cool.
Who's your least favorite character?
I don't really have that many that I don't like. I think that is it the doctor? I forget his name. Who's just kind of, got the brown bag flu all the time, drinking bourbon, struggling. He's going to become soup at some point. He kind of bugs me just because he takes the bait every time. But you got to have that character to kill him all.
I went with David Arquette's character because I thought he was so annoying.
Me too.
Did you?
Yeah, actually.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I just wanted to punch him in the face.
I know. Like it was like it wasn't like he was playing Dewey. It was more like he was playing Doofy. You know, like from
He
Scary
just
Movie.
permastone grinned, permastone the whole time.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
get that they like have a scene of him, like I'm assuming smoking pot with the Native American,
Oh yeah.
but I'm like, there's no way you're gonna be this dumb. Same with like the religious guy too, kind of got on my nerves a little bit, and I think that's just because of his like little nervous tics and stuff, and like how like soft voiced he was, and then when he tried to get mean and serious, you just couldn't take him seriously. But
Who is that?
He plays he plays Charles Manson in a couple of movie. I'm trying to think of what's called.
Oh.
Yeah. He's got a couple of other
Oh.
big movies.
Yeah, like he's very recognizable. He's
Yeah.
that guy there, the guy with the
Yeah,
beard.
see on the IMDb, I don't recognize any of them because they're all old now. So I don't recognize them. um, it's okay. Best acting. Who do you think had the best performance?
I mean, probably Robert Carlyle, who plays Colonel Ives. Jeffrey Jones, I hate saying that guy's fucking name too. When he comes back and he's he's kind of regenerating and he decides he wants. I mean, I thought he did a good job. I kind of hate that dude, but yeah, Colonel Ives crushes it.
Okay.
Yeah, I went with Robert Carlyle as well. Like, dude's great, so captivating.
I went with both Robert Carlyle and Guy Pearce. I really couldn't pick. I thought they both did really good. Like when Boyd is like going mad and stuff. Like, I don't know. I just thought they both did a really good job, so I couldn't pick.
Yeah, I feel like he's like a method actor too, isn't he? Like, do you have any idea, Josh?
I don't know. I've seen him. He might be. He's in a lot of movies overseas, I think, like Train Spotting, and he kind of does. You know, I don't know if he's actually from Scotland or what, but he does a damn good job. He might be. I don't know.
He was the dad in 28 Weeks Later, right?
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he is.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he's a dickhead in that movie too.
He's a good prick in those movies.
Score and soundtrack. This is where I'm gonna get. You have a lot of notes over there, so I'm very intrigued to see what you're gonna say. But what do you think of the score and soundtrack?
I think it's 10 because it's so weird, like that kind of janky little jaunty banjo with the kind of synth. It's just so weird. The bluegrass kind of, it's bizarre. I think that's what makes it so, I don't know. It gives it a lot of charm. I think it's very good. I love it. That's initially when I was showing people, they're like, this is a really crazy movie, but that music is fucking freaking me out, man. I think it's great. I love it.
I'm in the same boat. I liked it too. I thought it was like all over the place, but it was like, I don't know, it was like epic at times. And then, like you said, the banjo and like this native music, and it's all over the place, but I kind of liked it. And I'm very curious to see what you're going to say because I think this is the part you didn't like.
I'm on the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
I thought so.
This movie, okay, sure, like I can handle it for some scenes. Like some scenes, it's not too bad. I'm like, okay. But like other scenes, when something intense is supposed to be happening on screen, you're getting this weird banjo going on, and it doesn't sound. It's not tense or anything like that. Like it's just totally throwing the tone off, and that happens quite a few times in this movie.
Totally does.
Yeah. So I had like, oh, what I say? Like at the cave when they first get back to the cave and they're like finding stuff out, and the score gets real good, and I'm like, it's ominous, it's dark. I'm like, let's get this going. Here we go. This is where the movie's gonna switch tones with the score, and then he starts chasing the religious guy, and it gets super, I'm gonna say almost cartoon levels of score, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening right now? Like this is supposed to be super dark.
I think that's what gives it its, I think that's great, but it is off-putting. It's like, what in the hell is going on here? It's so weird.
Like I can understand why you guys like it, but it just threw me off. Like it felt like I actually put that on like one of my favorite movies. I'm like, this has like Tremors levels of like kind of that backcountry score, which I feel fit Tremors a lot better than it fit this movie.
Now, if you watch this again, knowing what the soundtrack and score was going to be, would you enjoy it, you think?
I don't know. I'll have to rewatch it and see. Yeah, I'll just have to rewatch it and see, because I do feel like there's a lot of really awesome, like you talked about the Native American like part aspects of it, and like there's that scene at the cave, and like there are sequences of score where I'm like, yes, like let's get this going. It actually stands out to me. Maybe because I was so focused on the banjo earlier, and now that I'm getting the score that I like, I'm like, okay, here we go. Like we're gonna break it down now. But yes, the banjo and stuff during scenes of what I would consider supposed to be tense sequences did not do it for me whatsoever.
Okay, that's fair.
When the fiddle's going, when they first get to that cave and that fiddle's just carving, it's pretty intense. You're like, what in the hell? And then it kind of goes this dun 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 dun. You're like, whoa. It's very different. I love it. But it grows on you, I hope. We'll see.
Okay. I'm gonna have to buy it and rewatch it, because I'm like, I don't know if this is supposed to be like a Three Stooges skit all of a sudden, or
What are your thoughts on cinematography?
I think it works really well. I think this is a really, when I watch this movie, I love watching it in the fall or the wintertime, because the mountain, the peaks, the cave, like the snow, it just feels very cold. I love the kind of like the slow kind of tracking shots as they're going through the woods. It feels freezing, and I love that about it. I think that the color palettes, the blood, I think the cinematography's just tense. I love it.
Okay. I didn't write anything for cinematography, to be honest. But I agree, this movie does feel cold. I think you even said that earlier, that it is a good winter movie to watch.
yeah, it feels like one of those good like transitional winter movies, because sometimes there's no snow on the ground, but it feels very cold, and then all of a sudden, in like probably a few days their time, there's snow all over the fucking place. So I really like that. I also really like the sets of this movie. Like the sets are all very great. I love the transition from, you get this high class, like I don't know if, I guess it'd be a fort back then. You get this high class fort at the beginning of the movie, and then you see his transition to the rural fort that's like being held up by
thrown together.
Yeah, I love that, and I love the setting. It just feels even more cold. So yeah, I really liked all that.
Favorite costumes and outfits?
I mean, I don't know. I didn't really notice a lot. I think that at least the military outforms look cool. You know, they're just made to get bloody, it seems like. So, you know, it looks really cold, so they're dressed well, I guess. But yeah, I never pay attention to costumes. But
this is usually my category. I usually have like a whole list, and I wrote nothing for this one. Like, where are all the cute girls' outfits? None in this movie.
No. I just put down that like all the costumes and outfits all seem very accurate to the time. Like they seem very well done in that sense.
Do you have any memorable lines? I know I gave you these categories late, so I don't know if you would have written any of those down.
I think the very end, you know, where they're like being trapped by that fucking bear trap, and he's just like, you know, if you die first, I'm going to eat you. Like that's so intense, and you can see him constantly like, I'm gonna have to eat this motherfucker. Like this is gonna have to happen.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like there's a movie with a lot of one-liners, but he's just Boyd's so cowardly the whole time that people are just kind of picking on him. So I think that Robert Carlyle's got a couple of good, maybe not one lines, but he's just like, you know, with a knife, and he's very intimidating without saying a whole lot. Like, but yeah, the end quote, that's kind of my thing.
That's the exact quote that I wrote down. I put in that was really sneaky, and then if you die first, I'm definitely gonna eat you.
Yeah, I really liked it too. I actually wrote the whole thing down.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he's like, but the question is, if I die, what are you gonna do? And then he says, bon appetit. I also have, this is a line, I have two more lines. I have it's lonely being a cannibal, tough making friends. I thought that was pretty funny. This line is like a variation on a line that we say at work, and like it's said at like in present day, just done a little differently. So like the line is eat to live, don't live to eat.
I fucking hate that line.
What?
My ex used to say it all the time to me.
Oh, but did he used to say work to or
Worked? Oh, you guys change it to
we change it to work to live, or yeah,
work to live, not live to work.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That's how we say it nowadays. So I was like,
Okay.
as soon as you said that line, I'm like, I get it, dude.
Totally.
Do you have any
Yeah, that's
lines
great.
disliked?
I mean, Jeffrey Jones. I can't stand that dude. I mean, so he's got a couple of them that just like kind of grate on me. The David Arquette stuff, just him laughing, just used to grind my gears. Just like do something, but he just kind of like laughs everything off, and then yeah, you get eaten. That's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't have anything. I don't think there's a line wasted in this movie. In fact, I think this movie ends up being like a lot more in depth with its dialogue than what I thought it was going to be. So I was very happy with the outcome.
Okay. I didn't write anything. What would be your favorite kill?
Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, kill. I like my favorite kill. I think is actually the dream sequence where David Arquette's character gets killed by Boyd. You know, he just like stabs him, and the blood spurts out. He just starts laughing at him, and you know, he knows he has to eat. He's becoming a cannibal, and he wants that rejuvenation. And then in the dream, he just like murders the shit out of him. That's my favorite kill. I don't know if that counts, but
Oh yeah, for sure.
I went with is it a bear trap? Like that's a big ass trap at the end. Is that a bear trap? Yeah. Okay, I went with the bear trap. I'm like, what is that thing trapping?
A gigantic fucking bear.
Yeah, that's what I went with.
Okay. I wasn't really sure what to go with. I didn't really write one down. I thought they were all really good. I wasn't disappointed with any kills. Well, I guess kind of with one, but like, yeah, I didn't have favorites.
Okay.
I
Surprisingly,
thought it was the dude, the kind of preacher guy, you know, when he gets killed. They don't show it on screen, but they show kind of, you know, what happens to him, and he's just laying there and his guts are all ripped out. And Ives just kind of got like the blood on his face. Like that's pretty sick too. Love that part.
Yeah, that's a good one. It just shows him like afterwards his like whole fucking torso is just split open.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we got to see more of Boyd eating his friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely implied for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Least favorite kill?
I don't know if I really have a least favorite. I feel like there isn't enough kills in this movie. There's never enough kills, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I'm in the same boat. I didn't write anything down.
I put David Arquette's off-screen kill. Okay. Like I know you get the dream sequence one, but like then it's like, can you please get him like actually killed on screen?
Yeah. Okay. That's fair.
The Jeffrey Jones kill is cool. Oh, sorry.
No, that's okay.
I thought the Jeffrey Jones kill, you know, because fuck Jeffrey Jones, where like his throat gets cut. They don't show it on screen, but you get the window splatter, and there's that cool effect where Colonel Ives is kind of walking up, and you can see his eyes through the blood spots. That's one of my favorite kills.
Yeah, I like Jones's first kill too, when he gets like gutted. You don't get to see a whole lot of it, but it's nice and slow, and you're like, yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Right. Killer.
Gore factor and special effects.
I think the blood looks really good in this film, from the opening where they're kind of showing the table setting, you know, and they're having like a ribeye or porterhouse or something, and the steak is all bloody, and you can kind of see Boyd like going through it. And then when he's in the pile, was it like the Alamo or something? And there's just blood dripping into his mouth. That all looks really good. I think when they go into that cave and they actually discover the bodies, when I was younger in '99 when I watched this, it was so effective. It's still pretty cool, but I thought that was just sick when I was growing up.
Yeah.
I
wrote
love the
down the
gore. I think
skeletons.
it's great.
I wrote down the skeletons in the cave too. Also the leg snapped look good, and I hate leg snaps in movies where you see the bone sticking out. It's so gross. Hate it.
Yeah, for me, I think everything looks really great. I don't have a problem with any of the gore. I really like the Alamo thing too, with all the bodies on top of them, and then the cave sequence, of course, seeing all the bodies in there. Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Okay. Storyline and pacing.
I think it's got a great story. I mean, I love the idea of the Donner Party. Maybe I'm weird. I just always thought that was such a crazy idea that you'd have to eat everything before you starve. So you eat the oxen, you eat the horses, you eat your belts, you eat your shoes, and then you eat each other. So I love that. I liked how it kind of played off of that, and they're getting trapped, between the mountains and shit. And then the pacing, once it gets going, they kind of flash forward and flash back to see, you know, they're implying this guy might have ate somebody, but you don't always see it on screen. So once it gets going, probably after like 15 minutes, I mean, it starts to ratchet up. Once Colonel Ives gets there, it's going the whole time. I think the pacing's just great.
Yeah. I'm in the same boat. The first bit, I definitely thought I wasn't going to enjoy this movie just based off of it being a movie about history, I guess, and a Western, like just not my thing at all. But once he got there and he started telling his story, I was intrigued. And then they like the cave was really cool. And just things kept happening where like I thought I was going to lose interest, and then all of a sudden I didn't, and things just kept happening that kept my interest. So I was happy about that.
Yeah, that's saying something for a Western for you.
I know.
Yeah. We have it on.
You've never seen any Westerns?
I don't think so.
Magnificent Seven?
No.
Um,
And I can't promise I'm going to watch this again. Like I'm not saying I absolutely loved it. I'm just saying it kept my.
No Country for Old Men?
Well,
No.
Clint Eastwood, any of those?
Brokeback Mountain? Is that a
Doesn't
Western?
count.
Not really.
No.
I don't think so.
I haven't seen it in a very long time.
Yellowstone? Did you watch Yellowstone?
The show?
Yeah.
Yes, I watched one season.
It's kind of a Western, right? I don't know. I've never watched
Kind of, yeah. I mean, yeah, my wife's watched all. I mean, I grew up on kind of like the Clint Eastwood, and my grandparents loved John Wayne. So it was just always on. So I'm used to Westerns, like Hell or High Water is a really good new Western. Yeah, No Country for Old Men is incredible. So I kind of like the idea of. Oh, God.
Oh, I was just going to say, Hell or High Water just came out, right?
I want to say it's like 2015, 2016, something like that.
Oh, okay.
But it's great. It's one of those modern Westerns that it's kind of like almost like a road trip movie, taking place in Texas, running from the law. It's pretty great.
Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't grow up on Westerns either. I've watched a few, but not too many. I had this teacher in high school who was like all about John Wayne. So I get it. And if you have a family member that's hooked into it, then more than likely then you watch like all of them. So,
Yeah. I don't go back and rewatch them, but I remember them all for sure.
I've never watched too many Clint Eastwood movies either. I think it was more so like the modern ones. But for me, I love the story. I think it's great, but I think the pacing was off for me due to the soundtrack. So it kind of took me out of the movie whenever that happened, and then I was like, oh, I wonder actually how much time is left. But besides that, I love the story. I think it's great. I think it's got a great arc for our main protagonist. I love Wendigo stories. I just love that myth. And I didn't I didn't like Antlers too much. Like this movie made me want to go back and kind of rewatch it because I was more so expecting this kind of storyline where a man ends up being transformed into a monster rather than the Wendigo being its own kind of entity itself.
Right.
So I really love that aspect, and the fact that he actually gains powers too. I was like, oh, nice. Really like that. But yeah, I think like you said, every time you think the movie's close to maybe ending, something happens, and then you get re-sucked in and invested in the rest of the story. So I agree.
What are some of your favorite scenes?
Definitely the cave. I think the cave sequence is super tense, just that. And I think when he first tells his story, when he's like, they rescue him from the cold, and he kind of he gets everybody drawn in, and everyone, the Native American guy's like, oh, right, like that scene, and then he starts telling the story, and it kind of like flashes backwards to their struggles getting through the mountains, the Sierras or whatever, problems with the horse, and it was just that's my favorite scene. That whole story, and then obviously the ending's super great. I think that they weren't going to let anybody come. They just had to like end the Wendigo lifeline. So yeah, the cave, and then the Robert story, killer.
That's exactly what I wrote down. The story of the group and the cave trap. It was so intense.
Yeah, I also like finding out about Boyd's like he's stricken with PTSD, right? Like for this time. So it was very interesting seeing like a PTSD movie take place in like the 1800s. I'm like, this is a really kind of neat thing because they definitely went through it. It's just never been acknowledged, in my opinion, in any other movie.
Right.
So I like all those like flashback scenes, and then also him like kind of dealing with it with like the older generals and stuff like that. But like you're just just we'll strike everything you said off the menu, or off the menu, off the record. Just say that you were in distress when you told us, and then we'll fix it so that you can have a better story and make yourself look better. And he's like, no, I can't do that. So I like all Boyd's like freak out moments and stuff. I also like how tense it is throughout when Colonel Ives shows back up and you're just waiting for the shoe to drop. So like he's just like it's surprising that it took him so long to be thrown up in jail, because he's just hanging out the whole time with a knife, just being like, as soon as this motherfucker moves, I'm like gonna kill the shit out of him. And everybody's just kind of like, it's okay, he's fine.
Yeah, he's fine. That's Boyd. He's a coward. Nothing's gonna happen.
Yeah, even if something happens, he's just gonna run anyway.
Yeah, he'll run. It's fine. He'll jump off a mountain. That scene is so intense, dude. Someone wants to kill you, and instead of fighting back, you just, I'm gonna dip out.
That was pretty. I like that. I actually like that whole jumping off the thing, because I'm like, it felt very like First Blood to me.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, and then like when he like survives, I'm like, oh, cool. But then when he starts rolling, I don't know what movie it was, but there's this movie where there's like just like, oh, Freddy's dead. When the kid rolls down the hill and Freddy's dead, and it just goes for an insane amount of time.
3 minutes, just over and over and over and over.
That's kind of how I felt with this. I'm like, if he's not injured by the end of this, I'm going to be really upset. But luckily, he broke his leg.
Yeah, thank God. He rolls forever.
Yeah. Do you have any least favorite scenes in this movie?
I mean, I think it all works pretty well. I always feel like I just feel bad for Boyd when the military captains are talking to him, or the colonels or whatever, and he's just like shriveling up, like he doesn't want to change his story. He's just getting reprimanded and almost lectured for his behavior, but he kind of owns his behavior. So that's always like just kind of awkward, this weird morality where he's like, nope, I'll do it again. I'm gonna run. Like, I think I watched this when I was probably 15, so I was like, you can't do that, you got to fight back. So that bothered me when I was younger, but now I'm like, that's kind of realistic, actually. That's probably what more people would do to just survive, But,
yeah. I just wrote down when he was buried under all the people. I'm super claustrophobic, so watching that, I was like, okay, how is he breathing under there? Freaked me out.
I don't have any least favorite scenes. No.
Okay. And last category is the killer, which I guess is our cannibal.
Colonel Ives.
Thoughts on him?
10 out of 10. Would recommend. Yeah, he's a 5 out of 5 on Yelp. I think Colonel Ives is just baller. He's able to just kind of slow. There's no like anticipation or rush with him. He's just like, oh yeah, you can do that. It's fine. He's just like plotting and takes his time. And he's like, I'm just gonna kill you anyway. So whatever you got to do, it's cool. Oh wait, like from the walk up, yeah, you can shackle me, I'm still gonna lick you, right? Then to where like they actually figure out that he is doing that, and he's just like, no, I'll kill you. He
Yeah.
just gets more suave as the movie goes. You're like, you can't stop this motherfucker. God.
I just love the way he carries himself and the stuff he says. Like he's just really cool.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, I don't know if I can say anything more about him than I already have. Like, he's charismatic. He's incredibly thorough. He's got a plan. He doesn't care if he gets hurt because he knows he's just going to regenerate. Like, when he got shot, I was like, oh, okay. Like, that was increasingly, like, I did not expect that to happen. And then when he got up, I was like, whoa, what's actually happening? And then like they start getting talking about the Wendigo and how it gets you power and stuff. I'm like, oh, okay, like this dude's gonna end up living forever. Like he's not gonna be defeated by the end of this movie. It was kind of what I was thinking, but he did.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I was gonna say what's up to Bronson in the chat. He says, I'm sure you guys already know this, but Guy Pearce was in Memento. We talked about that a little bit already.
Yep.
I remember watching Memento in my 11th grade books on film class in high school. Have you guys seen it? I have not, but you guys have, I think you said.
Yep. Yeah, I've got it. It's really good. It's a really good kind of mystery. It's like a thriller.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a murder mystery, revenge.
Okay.
It's about a guy though that loses his memory like every 20 minutes or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, so he's got like tattoos of clues all over his body, and
It
he
sounds familiar.
takes lots of pictures.
His apartment's papered in like he's trying to find the killer. Is it his wife? Spoiler. But yeah, he can't remember what happened, so he's just constantly leaving himself notes because he's gonna wake up or he's gonna forget, and then it's pretty effective. It's fun.
Yeah, it is good.
Ryan says he loves it as well. Guy Pearce played the villain in Adam Sandler's movie Bedtime Stories. I don't think I've seen that either.
I don't think I've seen that either.
Maybe. I was on a huge Adam Sandler kick for a long time, just because it's somebody, Happy Gilmore, Waterboy. You just grew up with that, Big Daddy. So like usually whenever Adam Sandler movie comes out, I get a little curious and I'll watch it. Like Hubie, Hubie's Halloween.
Maybe Halloween.
That. I didn't watch that.
It's not great.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah, you liked it?
It's fun. I mean, it's not quite Ernest Scared Stupid, but for what it is, it's all right.
Yeah.
It's cheesy.
But
it's Adam Sandler, you know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, that's 100% true. But it's not like I never watched like Jack and Jill because I knew right off the hop I wasn't gonna like that.
I don't know what that is.
It's a bad movie. It's real bad.
Thank God I didn't watch it. It's Adam Sandler playing Jack, and then Jill is also played by Adam Sandler.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But like PG, if it was rated R, like they could maybe do something with that story, but PG or whatever it was, it's just so hokey. It's so hard to sit through.
Yeah, like I'm hoping that they go hard with Happy Gilmore too.
It's been a long time, right? Been a long time.
Yeah.
There's another one coming out?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. They have set photos of Ben Stiller's back as like the orderly.
Oh.
I fucking love that.
Scary rating out of 10. 10 being the scariest movie you have ever seen, 1 being not scary at all. What would you rate this as a scary rating?
I watched this movie when I first rented it. Remember, you guys grow up where there was grocery stores that had VHS like on the shelf?
Yep.
So yeah, I was just walking through and I seen the cover and I was like, you are what you eat. That kind of looks interesting. So I brought it home. And in 99, I was probably like, I don't know, 14, maybe something like that. I thought it was pretty effective. I'd probably say it was like a 5. As I've grown up, I think it's more, it's not scary. If you don't like cannibals or blood or gore, then, I'd probably say it's probably like a 3 or 4.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably hit along the same lines. Yeah, say 3.
Okay.
It would have been way more tense if the score was better.
I was gonna go with a 2, but Yeah. Rewatchability and would you recommend?
I wrote this down last night. I was thinking about it, and I was almost like, maybe I should have said something else to review, kind of with for the first time coming on. But this is a movie that it's like once you've seen it, it's such a certain style. It's like a mood movie, so I don't revisit it that often. Maybe I don't know, every couple of years if I forget about it. But it's usually somebody says they haven't seen it, so I'm like, oh man, you're gonna love it. But for a while when I was growing up, it was kind of like shown at all the different parties I would go to. I would just bring it, and people would be like, "This music is tripping me out, man." So with copious amounts of beer, I thought people liked it. I would recommend it. What was the total question? I'm sorry.
Oh, just rewatchability and would you recommend? Yeah.
I think that it's a really well made movie. I would recommend it for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, but it is once you know what it is, it's kind of like it doesn't get revisited that much because you kind of know the story. So
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Rewatchability is yes. I would like to see how it holds up now that I know the score is going to be like that. And also I'd like to rewatch it and see if you could find any like little hints or tellings that Colonel Ives is really behind the whole thing beforehand, like when he's telling his story or something like that. And of course, I recommend everybody check out a movie if you haven't seen it. Like I said, this movie had been on my watch list for a very long time, and I never got around to it. So this was just a perfect excuse for me to watch it. And next time I watch it, I'll probably buy it. Are there a bunch of special features on that Blu-ray?
yeah, there's quite a few. There's lots of commentaries, deleted scenes. Costume design, still galleries, trailers, TV spots. I just remember not being that popular, but there's enough special features I think to justify a purchase. Um, yeah, I mean it's a vibe. So I think for what it is, I think I recommend it because a lot of people haven't seen it. So I'm like, I think it's going to surprise you. I mean, you either love the music or you hate it because I have gotten that from people that are like, the music just took me out of it when they're eating people. It's like it should have been dark and moody and ominous, but you know,
Okay, I'm glad I'm
that's
not the only person that's given that opinion.
no. Half of my friends would be like, dude, it's good, but man, it's wigging me out with this music. So that's pretty common.
Okay. I'll probably rewatch it again when I buy the Blu-ray.
Okay. Rewatchability for me, I probably won't watch it again just because Westerns and history stuff isn't my thing. Would I recommend? Yeah, of course. This is one I had never even heard of. So if I know there's a horror fan that is into Westerns and stuff like that, I would definitely throw it out there to them and see if they've seen it or not. Because yeah, even I didn't mind it and it's not my thing. So final movie rating as a whole. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Have you seen Bone Tomahawk?
No, it's been on my watch list because I know there's a really good kill.
There's a bunch of really good kills. It is a Western and it's a lot longer than this. I think it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes or something. But it's another cannibal movie. Kurt Russell, the dude from is it Patrick Wilson, the dude from Lost. I highly recommend Bone Tomahawk. But it is going to be a Western with some crazy good kills. Crazy.
I've heard that about the kills, and I knew it was a Western, and that's probably why I've put it off for so long. But I do got to just do it and just give it a shot.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people hype this movie up, and it's been sitting in my cabinet over there unopened.
Yeah.
In DVD form.
I'll probably try and get to it within the next year. I'm just not going to do it as a reviewing movie because if I can't sit through it, I don't want to be committed. Right. So bad to say, but I also
somebody come on and pick this movie.
Yeah, I don't do well with long
movies. So she has to do it, right? I know. Do you guys watch movies for like when you're in the mood for something, or can you just watch something like because you feel like you should watch it now? Like I'm very with. I'll watch a movie that I buy and I'm like waiting to watch it for the right day, the right mood, the right weather sometimes. Like I'm super weird about that stuff. But
I'm the same. I'm definitely a mood watcher. I buy so many DVDs and don't touch them. They just sit there until I'm in the mood and it's like that mood might never come. But
I'm more of I can almost put on anything and try.
Yeah.
It depends if I've seen it before or not, because then I know what I'm going into. But if it's a movie I've never seen before, then I'm like, yeah, fuck it, throw it in. Let's check it out. I'm down.
Yeah, I'm so not like that.
Yeah.
I was not going to watch The Substance because I thought it was going to be just kind of like a sci-fi. I was like, I got to be in the mood for this, you know. The stars have to align. The people are like, no, you got to watch it. You're going to love it, and I totally fucking loved it. But the mood, I mean, I probably should have watched it in the theater. I loved it so much, but
Yeah.
in my head, I was like, I'm not in the mood for that right now. Can't do it.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to force myself. I'm like, turn my phone off, pay the fuck attention, you know. But
I'm bad with the phone too. That's why if we're like reviewing a movie, I definitely have to have my phone just like not in my hands. But I'm so bad when we're not reviewing and I'm just watching something for fun. I end up on my phone and then I have to like rewind it. I'm like, fuck. Like, come on, Sam, just pay attention.
Oh yeah. It will be like 10 minutes into the movie and you'll be like, I just zoned out. Like, what's going on? Can you rewind that? And I'm
That's
like,
not even on my phone though. That's just zoning out. 'Cause
Yeah.
My brain is just ding, ding, ding.
And I'm like, fuck, I just want to watch the movie.
it's cool that you guys are both like big horror fans. So with my wife, she'll watch the ones that I really want her to, but I gotta like hype it up a little bit. And then someone else has to tell her it's really good at work. And then she'll be like, so yeah, have you heard about this movie? And I was like, thank God you mentioned it. I can't wait to talk about it. But if it's just kind of casual, she'll be on her fucking phone. Like, you're missing, we gotta rewind it. What are you doing? Drives me nuts.
I do have to fight for some movies because I show Sam like a lot of movies from like the 80s and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I have to hype them up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Or sometimes I have to like just hint to somebody that's coming on to be like, hey, you should almost make us watch this movie because Sam's never seen it.
What does your wife like to watch?
She really likes, you know, like dramas where I love dramas if they're like in a crime movie, you know, or like it's a Stephen King drama or something. I just like really good movies, but yeah, she's really into comedies. We're the same age, you know. My birthday was last week, hers is tomorrow. So favorite movie is The Crow, True Romance, and then Interview with the Vampire. So we mostly align, but if it's pretty gross and nasty, she's like, why are we? And I'll drag her to the theater for those ones, you know, of course. When she's squirming, it makes the movie better for me. Like, I don't know what that is, but.
Has she watched the Terrifier movies with you?
Just the first one, and she hated it.
Okay. So now she'll never go watch another one with you.
Probably not. I wanted to go see Terrifier 3, but I think I settled on Smile 2 because she's like, that at least looks interesting. And I was like, all right, Smile 2. Fine.
Okay.
And it was fine, you know, but yeah.
All right.
And she works with surgeons, so she can handle like more real life gore than I probably could. But if it's on screen, she's like, oh my God, that's bad. So
Oh my God, I'm the opposite. If I see it in person, I will pass out. But on TV, like the more the better.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's funny that she squirms out with the TV, but not in real life.
She'll show me photos, and I'm like, what are you doing at work? I'm like, I don't want to see that. So the trip
That's funny.
doesn't transfer over. Yeah.
Final movie rating as a whole, we rate, you know what, I'll just put the emojis up. They cover our face, apologies. But what would you rate this movie with these emojis? If you're somewhere in between, you can say like a high thumbs up or a low thumbs up. But yeah, that's our rating scale.
Clearly a poop is garbage
The
and
worst.
the okay is like
Okay.
yeah, and then the
3
100
out of
is
5.
perfect movie.
Yeah, it's out of 5.
I'm gonna go, you know, between, you know, a high thumbs up probably.
Okay. You go next.
I'm gonna go with a low thumbs up.
Okay. I'm gonna see, I hate saying a low okay, even though I still have good things to say about it. I think just for my personal preference, it's a low okay.
I take rewatchability into a factor here as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
like if I'm gonna rewatch this more or not, that would be like a half a point. But
Okay.
like it's totally up to you. It's your rating.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the low okay.
Don't be afraid to put your feelers out there.
Yeah, man, it's all good.
Yeah.
I picked it because I want more people to talk about it. No one ever talks about it, so that's why I kind of picked it. I was like, you know what's kind of fun, kind of extreme for a little while. That's also very like kind of plain Jane, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy I like somewhat liked it because I feel like we're on a streak of trashing films on the channel, and I'm like getting tired of it. So I'm like, wow, I actually have some good things to say.
What are some of the ones that have been trashed recently?
Oh, what have we watched?
We watched Hannibal.
Oh, I did not like Hannibal. I'm not.
Ugh.
No, did not like it.
Yeah.
Just boring, or
Yeah,
Yeah, Hannibal's just tries to be too smart for its own good.
yeah, I couldn't handle the dialogue either. I'm like, I don't know what the heck is going on.
Yeah. What else didn't we like?
I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head what we've been doing, but maybe it's just Hannibal that's left in my brain because that was the last one.
I can't remember.
well, Silence of the Lambs is so good. It's like Hannibal was just destined to fail.
Yeah, and like my opinion, Red Dragon's better than Hannibal, and I haven't seen Hannibal Rising yet since it came out. So I'd be weary to return to that one.
Have you seen Manhunter, the prequel?
No, I haven't.
It's pretty. It's a Michael Mann movie. It's pretty good. It's kind of right before Silence of the Lambs. Really good book, but yeah, Manhunter's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check it out because I'd like to see the first screen adaptation of Hannibal Lecter played by Cox there.
Yeah, Brian Cox. Awesome.
He is great. I love seeing him.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say what's up to Frank quickly. Evening, guys. Great to see Josh on your channel.
Hey, Frank.
Hey, Frank.
What up, Frank?
Hope you are well. Antonia Bird passed away October 24th, 2013. He's been gone 11 years now. Who's that?
I think there's a director. I think.
Oh, yes, you're right. I'm like, I recognize the name, but it's because I read it at the beginning of this episode. Thank you. Okay, that's the movie.
Yep.
That's the movie. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Yeah,
Of course.
absolutely.
Do you want to tell everyone one last time where they can find you, and if you have anything coming up on your channel that you want to talk about?
Yeah, so just on YouTube, just Beyond the Gray Media. I'm gonna try to go down. I got a whole bunch of video nasties I'm gonna try to review this month. I'm working on. I got a podcast with the dude who loves movies next week. I'm stoked to just kind of talk about not specifically horror, but just kind of like nostalgia, the 90s and stuff. And then on Instagram, just Beyond the Gray Media. I'm always being stupid on there. So
All
check
right.
it out.
Thank you, Ryan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Josh's channel, please.
Born to
Appreciate
be
you.
rad. Just popped in.
Born to be rad. Hello. What's up?
What up, Garrett?
So we have Sledgehammer Horror coming on, Ken and Ashley are coming on Monday. We're going to be doing our top 10 2010 to 2019, that decade.
Yep, the 2010s.
I haven't even started my list yet, so I'm a little screwed. I gotta start. And then we're doing a live review of Teeth Wednesday night with Mike and Serial.
Yep, that'll be my first time watch.
Yes, your first time. I love that movie. What else do we have? We're gonna do Cabin in the Woods next week, I think, with Flet.
Flat. Yeah.
And I can't remember anything else off the top of my head.
Yeah, we're gonna be doing a horror hangout at some point with Bo and Sean's Horror Corner.
Yeah,
The first week of December.
it's in November still.
Oh.
Yeah, that's okay. We don't have our calendar, but Bronson says, I subscribe to Josh's channel. Take care, guys. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday night.
Appreciate you, Bronson.
Teeth. Yes, I'm pumped for that.
I'm excited to see it.
But yeah, thanks again, Josh, and thanks to everyone that tuned in today on our Saturday evening, and we hope everyone has a good weekend.
It's good meeting you guys. Take care.
Bye.
Good meeting you too.